A crown cardinal was a cardinal protector of a Roman Catholic nation, nominated or funded by a Catholic monarch to serve as the representative within the College of Cardinals and, if applicable, exercise the jus exclusivae. More generally, the term may refer to any cardinal significant as a secular statesman or elevated at the request of a monarch. Francis Burkle-Young defines a crown cardinal as one elevated to the cardinalate solely on the recommendation of the European kings and without, in many cases, having performed any service at all for the advance of the Church. According to conclave historian Frederic Baumgartner, the crown cardinals rarely came to Rome except for the conclaves, if then, and they were largely unknown to the majority of the college. Usually unable to take part in the pratiche, they were not papabili and rarely received more than 1 or 2 votes. Crown cardinals generally opposed the election of crown cardinals from other kingdoms, although they tended to unite against the election of cardinal nephews. Opposition to national cardinal protectors arose in the 15th century due to the perceived conflict of interest, and Pope Martin V attempted to forbid them entirely in 1425. A reform of Pope Pius II dated 1464 regards national cardinal protectors as generally inconsistent with curial responsibility, with several exceptions. Such protectorships were first openly permitted by Popes Innocent VIII and Alexander VI, both of whom required the explicit written consent of the pontiff for a cardinal to take up a position of service to a secular prince. An unnamed cardinal even suggested elevating national cardinal protectors to a full and official position in the Roman Curia, equivalent to an ambassador. History. The institution of a cardinal protector of a nation-state may have originated in the 14th century, serving as a predecessor for the diplomatic institutions of the Holy See developed in the 16th century. The institution of the crown cardinal first became a dominant one within the College of Cardinals with the consistory of Pope Eugene IV on December 18, 1439, which nominated an unprecedented number of cardinals with strong ties to European monarchs and other political institutions. The first explicit reference to protectorship pertaining to a nation-state dates to 1425, when Pope Martin V forbade cardinals to assume the protection of any king, prince or commune ruled by a tyrant, or any other secular person whatsoever. Quote, "This prohibition was renewed in 1492 by Pope Alexander VI. This prohibition was not renewed by Pope Leo X in the 9th session of the Lateran Council of 1512. Some crown cardinals were cardinal nephews or members of powerful families. Others were selected solely on the recommendation of European monarchs, in many cases with little previous ecclesiastical experience. During the reigns of Avignon Pope Clement VI and Pope Urban VI in particular, it was acknowledged that monarchs could select retainers and expect them to be elevated to the College of Cardinals. The going rate for the creation of a crown cardinal was about 2,832 scudi. Pope Alexander VII had to elevate crown cardinals in pectore. Pope Urban VI forbade crown cardinals from receiving gifts from the respective sovereigns. World War I cemented the decline of the institution of the crown cardinal, as many monarchies either became extinct or declined in power. Role in conclaves. In the case of Spain, France, and Austria, from the 16th to 20th centuries, crown cardinals had the prerogative to exercise the jus exclusivae during a papal conclave on behalf of the patron monarch. Crown cardinals usually arrived with a list of such unacceptable candidates but often had to confer with the patrons during conclaves via messengers, and attempt to delay the conclave until a response arrived. For example, Pope Innocent X and Pope Innocent XIII survived late arriving veto orders from France and Spain respectively. Austrian Crown Cardinal Carlo Gaetano Gaisruck arrived too late to the papal conclave of 1846 to exercise the veto against Giovanni Maria Mastai-Ferretti. List of Cardinal Protector Crown Cardinals. The following includes a complete list of Crown Cardinal Protectors in the 16th and 17th centuries. Of Hungary, Pietro Asvallis, Giulio de' Medici. Of Austria, Protectors 1523 to 1531, Lorenzo Pucci 1532 to 1535, Giovanni Salviati 1540 to 1542, Girolamo Aleander 1542 to 1555, Marcello Cervini 1555 to 1580, Giovanni Girolamo Marone 1580 to 1600, Andreas von Osterich 1603 to 1634, Franz von Dietrichstein 1635 to 1638, Ippolito Aldobrandini 1638 to 1642, Maurizio di Savoia 1655 to 1667, Ernst Adalbert von Harrach, Federico Sforza 1673 to 1689, Carlo Pio di Savoia 1689 to 1701, Francesco Maria de' Medici 1701 to 1707, Leopold Karl von Kolonich 1707 to 1712, Johann Philipp von Lamberg 1712 to 1725, Christian von Sachsen-Zeitz 1726 to 1738, Wolfgang von Schrattenbach 1738 to 1751, Sigismund von Kolonich 1751 to 1758, Ferdinand Julius von Troyer 1779 to 1800, František Hergsen 1823 to 1834, Giuseppe Albani 1858 to 1867, Pietro Silvestri. Vice Protectors and Co-Protectors 1536 to 1541, Alessandro Cesarini 1560 to 1565, Cristoforo Madruzzo 1571, Marcantonio Colonna 1574, 1580 81st, Tolomeo Galli 1581 to 1603, Alfonso Giraldo 1584 to 1587, Antonio Carafa 1604 to 1607, Alfonso Visconti 1607 to 1611, Ottavio Paravicini 1612 to 1621, Pietro Aldobrandini 1621 to 1632, Ludovico Ludovici 1629 to 1631, Cosimo de Torres 1635 to 1641, Carlo Emanuele di Savoia 1642 to 1644, Alfonso de la Cueva 1644 to 1655, Ernst von Harrach 1645 to 1664, Girolamo Colonna 1664 to 1667, Federico Sforza 1667 to 1675, Friedrich von Hessen-Darmstadt 1690 to 1693, José Sáenz d'Aguirre 1694 to 1700, Francesco del Giudice 1701-02, 1706 to 1710, Vincenzo Grimani 1703–05, 1708–12, Fabrizio Paolucci, 1713–1719, Wolfgang von Schrattenbach, 1719–1722, Michael Friedrich von Uhlen, 1722–1726, Alvaro Cienfuegos, 1735–1743, Nicola del Giudice, 1743–1779, Alessandro Albani, of England of Ireland, Girolamo Ginucci, Rodolfo Pio di Carpi, Giovanni Girolamo Marone, Francesco Alciati, Flavio Orsini, Nicolas Pellive, Girolamo Mattei, Pompeo Arrigoni, Fabrizio Veralli, Ludovico Ludovici, Antonio Barberini, Palazzo Paluzzi Altieri degli Albertoni, Giuseppe Renato Imperiali, Neri Maria Corsini, Mario Marafoschi, Gregorio Salviati, Carlo Livisani, of Scotland, Antonio Pallavicini, Pietro Accolti, Benedetto Accolti, Rodolfo Pio di Carpi, Giovanni Domenico de Cupis, Niccolo Catani Sermonetta, Camillo Borghese, Maffeo Barberini, Francesco Barberini, Philip Howard of Norfolk, Taddeo da Verme, Alessandro Falconieri, Domenico Riviera, Giuseppe Spinelli, Giovanni Francesco Albani, Charles Erskine. Of France, the King of France historically had only one cardinal protector at a time, chosen by a complicated process that involved the king, the Secretary of State for Foreign Affairs, the French ambassador to Rome, and other French power brokers, but not the Pope. The Crown Cardinal of France was also abbot commendatario of several French abbeys. There was traditionally at least one resident French cardinal in the Roman Curia during the first half of the 16th century, but Louis XII and Francis I chose three successive Italian cardinals as protector of France thereafter. 1513–1516, Federico di San Severino, 1516–1523, Giulio de' Medici, 1523–1548, Agostino Trivulzio Niccolo Gaddi, 1549–1572, Ippolito II d'Este, 1573–1586, Luigi d'Este, 1587–1615, François de Joye as Vice-Protector, Arnaud d'Orsat Vice-Protector, François de la Rochefoucauld, 1616–1620, Alessandro Orsini, Guido Bentivoglio, 1621–1636, Maurizio di Savoia, 1636–1644, Antonio Barberini, 1645–1672, Rinaldo d'Este, Alessandro Bicci, 1672–1676, Virginia Orsini, 1676–1701, Circuit Sar d'Estrées, 1702–1709, Francesco Maria de' Medici, 1709–1740, Pietro Ottoboni, Pierre Guerin de Tencin, acting protector until 1758. 1758–1765, Prospero Colonna di Chiara, 1769–1792, Quarters, François Joachim de Pierre de Bernus, of the Holy Roman Empire. The protector of the Holy Roman Empire was often the protector of the Austrian hereditary lands. 1492–1503, Francesco Piccolomini, 1518–1539, Lorenzo Campeggio, 1540, Pedro Manriquez, 1540–1542, Girolamo Aleander, 1542–1550, Innocenzo Cibo, 1550–1557, Juan Alvarez de Toledo, 1557 to 1573, Otto Truxas von Warburg, 1573 to 1600, Ludovico Madrazzo, 1603 to 1611, Ottavio Paravicini, 1611 to 1633, Scipione Borghese, 1635–36, Franz von Dietrichstein, 1636 to 1642, Moritz von Savoyen, 1644 to 1666, Girolamo Colonna, 1666 to 1682, Friedrich von Hessen-Darmstadt, 1682 to 1689, Carlo Pio di Savoia, 1689 to 1701, Francesco Maria de' Medici, 1701 to 1707, Leopold von Kolonich, 1707 to 1712, Johann Philipp von Lamberg, 1712 to 1725, Christian August von Sachsen-Zeitz, 1726 to 1738, Wolfgang von Schrattenbach, 1738 to 1751, Sigismund von Kolonich, 1751 to 1758, Ferdinand Julius von Troyer, 1758 to 1765, vacant, 1765 to 1779, Alessandro Albani, 1779 to 1800, Franciscus von Paul of Herzen von Harris, Vice-Protectors and Co-Protectors 1517 to 1530, Lorenzo Pucci, 1530 to 1532, Wilhelm van Enkevoort, 1534 to 1539, Alessandro Cesarini, 1538 to 1540, Girolamo Ginucci, 1540 to 1542, Alessandro Farnes, 1542 to 1550, Juan Alvarez de Toledo, 1550 to 1553, Bernardo Maffei, 1557 to 1559, Pedro Pacheco, 1558 to 1568, Clemente Dolera, 1587 to 1593, Filippo Spinola, 1594 to 1600, Ottavio Paravicini, 1621 to 1625, Eitel Friedrich von Hohenzollern, 1625 to 1644, Giulio Savelli, 1644, Girolamo Colonna of 1664 to 1666, Federico Sforzo, 1666 to 1682, Carlo Pio di Savoia, 1690 to 1693, José Sáenz d'Aguirre, 1694 to 1700, Francesco del Giudice, 1701–02, 1706 to 1710, Vincenzo Grimani, 1703–05, 1708–12, Fabrizio Paolucci, 1713 to 1719, Wolfgang von Schrattenbach, 1719 to 1722, Michael Friedrich von Uhlen, 1722 to 1726, Alvaro Cienfuegos, 1735 to 1743, Nicola del Giudice, 1745 to 1765, Alessandro Albani, Of Poland, Pedro Isfales, Achille de Gracie, Lorenzo Pucci, Antonio Pucci, Alessandro Farnes, Bernardino Maffei, Giacomo Putio, Giacomo Savelli, Alessandro Peretti di Montalto, Cosimo de Torres, Giulio Savelli, Gianbattista Pamphilj, Gaspar Mattei, Virginia Orsini, Pietro Vidoni, Carlo Barberini, Annibal Albani, Gianfrancesco Albani. Of Sweden, Cardinal Protectors of Sweden were appointed by King of Poland Zygmunt III Wazda, who had claimed the rights to the Swedish crown, Eduardo Farnes, Lorenzo Magalotti, of Portugal 1517 to 1531, Lorenzo Pucci 1533 to 1544, Antonio Pucci 1545 to 1564, Guido Ascanio Sforza 1565 to 1572, Carlo Borromeo 1573 to 1589, Alessandro Farnese 1591 to 1603, Alfonso Geraldo 1604 to 1626, Odoardo Farnese 1626 to 1634, Francesco Barberini 1635 to 1638, Ippolito Aldobrandini 1657 to 1676, Virginia Orsini 1676 to 1714, Ce Acute Sar d'Estrées 1714 to 1721, Michelangelo Conti 1739 to 1770, Neri Maria Corsini 1859 to 1884, Camillo di Pietro 1887 to 1888, Vladimir Zarsky 1891-1910 30th, Vincenzo Vanartelli of Savoy, Kingdom of Sardinia, Protectors of the Duchy of Savoy 1534 to 1537, Paolo Cesi 1576 to 1594, Michel Bonelli 1594 to 1621, Pietro Aldobrandini 1621 to 1632, Ludovico Ludovici 1633 to 1671, Antonio Barberini 1671 to 1704, Carlo Barberini, Protectors of the Kingdom of Sardinia 1727 to 1779, Alessandro Albani 1819 1834, Giuseppe Albani 1835 to 1853, Luigi Lambruscini of Naples 1530 to 1542, Alessandro Cesarini 1544 to 1549, Alessandro Farnese 1556 to 1564, Guido Ascanio Sforza 1566 to 1574, Alessandro Sforza 1574 to 1603, Alfonso Geraldo 1605 to 1608, Ascanio Glonna 1608 to 1642, Girolamo Doria 1644 to 1650, Gaspar Mattei 1657 to 1663, Camillo Astali 1664 to 1676, Federico Sforza 1689 to 1699, José Sáenz d'Aguirre of Sicily 1524 to 1542, Alessandro Cesarini 1542 to 1589, Alessandro Farnese 1592 to 1626, Odoardo Farnese 1626 to 1634, Francesco Barberini 1635 to 1642, Luigi Catani 1645 to 1656, Pier Donato Cesi 1664 to 1687, Lorenzo Raggi Federico Sforza 1687 to 1699, José Sáenz d'Aguirre 1699 to 1725, Francesco del Giudice of the Kingdom of Two Sicilies 1738 to 1747, Troiano Acquaviva d'Aragona 1747 to 1789, Domenico Orsini 1789 to 1795, Ferdinando Spinelli 1799 to 1806, Fabrizio Dionigi Raffo of Castile, Spain. The King of Spain could have as many as 5 or 6 cardinal protectors simultaneously, although traditionally the protector of Castile was the most frequently turned to. 1516 to 1517, Francisco Ramolins, 1517 to 1529, Lorenzo Pucci, 1529 to 1534, Andrea della Valle, 1534 to 1563, Ercole Gonzaga, 1563 to 1566, Francesco Gonzaga, 1566 to 1574, Francisco Pacheco de Toledo, 1574 to 1581, Alessandro Sforza, 1582 to 1588, Ferdinando de' Medici, Francesco Alciati, 1588 to 1592, Juan Hurtado Mendoza, 1592 to 1599, Pedro de Deza Manuel, 1599 to 1601, Alessandro d'Este, 1601 to 1606, Francisco d'Avila, 1606 to 1617, Antonio Zapata y Cisneros, 1617 to 1632, Gaspar de Borja y Velasco, 1632 to 1645, Gil Carrillo de Albornoz, 1645 to 1666, Carlo de' Medici, Federico Sforza, 1667 to 1672, Friedrich von Hessen-Darmstadt, 1673 to 1677, Luis Manuel Portocarrero, 1677 to 1689, Carlo Pio di Savoia, 1689 to 1702, Francesco Maria de' Medici, 1702 to 1713, Francesco del Giudice, 1713 to 1725, Francesco Acquaviva d'Aragona, 1725 to 1743, Luis Antonio Beluga y Moncada, 1743 to 1747, Troiano Acquaviva d'Aragona, 1748 to 1760, Joaquin Fernandez Portocarrero of Aragon, 1517 to 1531, Lorenzo Pucci, 1531 to 1542, Alessandro Cesarini, 1542 to 1589, Alessandro Farnese, 1592 to 1626, Eduardo Farnese, 1626 to 1634, Francesco Barberini, 1635 to 1641, Carlo Emanuele Pio di Savoia, 1645 to 1666, Girolamo Colonna, 1666 to 1682, Friedrich von Hessen-Darmstadt, 1682 to 1689, Carlo Pio di Savoia, 1689 to 1702, Francesco Maria de' Medici of Flanders, 1561 to 1572, Carlo Borromeo, 1573 to 1597, Marc Antonio Colonna, 1597 to 1608, Ascanio Colonna, 1608 to 1633, Scipione Caffrelli Borghese, 1633 to 1642, Pietro Maria Borghese, 1644 to 1666, Girolamo Colonna, Federico Sforza, 1669 to 1676, Friedrich von Hessen-Darmstadt, 1677 to 1689, Carlo Pio di Savoia, 1689 to 1702, Francesco Maria de' Medici. List of other national cardinal protectors. Of Switzerland, Carlo Borromeo, Paolo Emilio Sfondrati, Eduardo Farnese, Francesco Barberini, Carlo Barberini, Fabrizio Spada, Annibale Albani, of Republic of Genoa, Gian Domenico Spinola, Lord Evio Zaccia, Pietro Maria Borghese. List of non-cardinal protector crown-cardinals. Of Austria, Andrew of Austria, son of Archduke Ferdinand, Joseph Dominicus von Lamberg, Rudolph of Austria, Archbishop of Olomouc, Archduke Carlo Gaetano Gaisruck, Jan Maurice Parel Pazina de Kosielsko. Of Bavaria, Philip Wilhelm, Bishop of Regensburg from 1595, Cardinal from 1597. Johann Casimir v. Hafelin, Ambassador of Bavaria to the Holy See, probably a de facto court bishop since the 11th of November 1787. Of England, Charles of Guise, uncle of Mary, Queen of Scots. Of France, Jean Jouffroy, continued role as procurate after elevation as cardinal. Jean Ballieu, continued role as procurate after elevation as cardinal, styled as French protector in Rome. André d'Espinay, Armand Jean de Richelieu, Bishop of Lucan, Prime Minister. Jules Mazarin, Jean-Sufrain Maury, Archbishop of Montefiasco, representative of the Bourbon pretender, sided with Napoleon I in 1806. Joseph Fesch, Archbishop of Lyons, step-uncle to Napoleon I, Ambassador of France to the Holy See in Imperial Grand Armina. His role as Crown-cardinal ended with the end of the Napoleonic reign, whereas he remained cardinal and archbishop of the Holy Roman Empire. Albert of Austria, son of Maximilian II, Holy Roman Emperor. Of Poland, Jerzy Radziwiłł, Jan Alexander Lipski. Of Portugal, Cardinal Infante Afonso of Portugal, Henry of Portugal. Tomás de Almeida. Of Spain, Pedro González de Mendoza, Francisco Jiménez de Cisneros. Cardinal Infante Ferdinand, Luis Antonio Jaime de Bourbon, wife Anicio, Francisco de Solis Fulch de Cardona. Of Tuscany, Ferdinando I de Medici, Grand Duke of Tuscany.